All right. Hi, guys. Hello, and welcome to today's Plumbers of Data Science episode, where we are moving along with the data engineering course that I'm creating. And today, what we're going to do is we're going to look into the Twitter API. Twitter API is super interesting if you want to extract tweet information and do some analytics on the tweets and basically find out what you can do. Yeah, Twitter has a API and a really good documentation for that. So uh, I'm thinking this is the way to go here. And yeah, I would say let's dive right in. Let's try to figure out the Twitter API and what we can do with it. I'm regarding the course. I'm not still not 100% sure what we're going to do and analyze with the tweets. I have a few ideas. One idea is to get basically a live overview of how many tweets are getting created, are being posted regarding some hashtags, and finding out what people or what channels, no, how was it called on how what users are posting on these posting these with these hashtags, and so basically what network is there that is using a certain hashtags and when's a good time to publish when on those hashtags. And yeah, I think also some the next level would be some sentiment analysis. Is what is it positive or negative what people are talking about? We could also extract all the links from the tweets and so on. So just a few ideas. I think that could be very nicely done. Yeah. All right. I'm seeing a few people. Hi guys. Hi Nick, Dragonfly, Jerome. Um, Great to have you here, guys. Uh, I don't know if you already have some experience with Twitter API, but let's dive right in here. So, one thing, as I said, Twitter has a really good documentation for their API. Uh, I absolutely love that, and yeah, it's super easy to understand actually what's going on. So developer.twitter.com is the documentation for how you can access the APIs, and then you have some general information. Where you need to go is docs and then documentation, and then you have basically the things that you can do for it. For instance, basic stuff. They have FAQs. They have stuff on authentication. How do you authenticate with OAuth? This is a standard authentication provider, let's say. Um, and this is how you basically secure your access to the Twitter API. So you need to create a authentication key, and then with that or a token, and with that token you can access the API, and you can query data or send data to create tweets or delete tweets, and um, uh, get a follower or become a follower of someone, or remove a following, and so on. So they have some basic stuff. Rate limits, that's also super interesting. If you create APIs, rate limits are something you have to keep in mind, because if you don't have rate limits, people can potentially overuse your API and create a lot of strain on your servers, and maybe make make a denial of service attack, although they don't want it, because they can overpower the API and the service behind it. So you have some limits on how often you can use some APIs or some functions, and then so on and so on. And then they have the actual functions here, what you can do. For instance, you can interact with, you can subscribe to accounts, you can mute, you can follow, manage your lists, you can do stuff with tweets, direct messages, media, I don't know. Okay, uploads are media. These other things here, trends, geo, and ads, I don't have trends near a location. Okay, location with trending topics. So I think these here, the tweets and the direct messages, are the most important, or the other way around, tweets is the most important thing here, because with the tweets you can post tweets, receive tweets, and engage with tweets. That is, engagement is not in the course, I think, is not our main goal. We want to extract data and work with the data. What you could do also here is you can create basically a chat bot or a Twitter bot with this stuff. Then you can get timelines of users and so on. You can optimize tweets with cards. Okay, search for tweets. Those are very, very interesting and very useful stuff. So let's say in our case, then here it would receive tweets. And how this works is, let's go to the API reference here. They have basically made it so you can, it's a different, you can do posts. Basically, when post is always when you want to do something, when you want to transmit some information, or in this case you want to retweet something, or you want to unretweet something. You want to set a favorite, and or you can get stuff. So get let's this, for instance, here, get status as show ID, returns a single tweet specified by the ID parameter. So you can, if you have a special tweet already in mind, you can get it here and get the information from the tweet. And then you basically post the stuff with here's the resource, API status, then Twitter API.com 1.1 statuses, show, and then you have some, the rate limit. I like how this thing is built. You have the first thing is you have the actual the command that you can do. Then you have the resource URL. Then you have information about the resource. The response is a JSON response. You need authentication. It's rate limited. This is the rate limits, and then you have the parameters that you can send over to specify what you can retrieve or what you want to do. In this case, the ID of the tweet is required, and then you have some optional parameters. Then you have an example request, how this would look like, and then an example response. So this is a great way of documenting an API, and I really love that how they've done it. You have so if you want to at some point want to create an API, this is a good template. make some sections like tweets because you want to interact with tweets, and then you have the options of everything that you want to do. And then you say, okay, I want to either post, retrieve, engage with a tweet, and then you have an API reference. It's more specialized with the actual API calls that you can make, and then you have these sections where everything is explained, and it's always the same for every API or every command that you want to do here. So this was not the thing that we would be looking for. We would look for something like search tweets, I'm guessing. Something with standard. What is the API reference here? So this turns a collection of relevant tweets matching a specified query. Okay, so here you can make queries. Please note that Twitter is a search service, and by extension, Search API is not meant to be an exclusive source of tweets. Not all tweets will be indexed or made available via the search interface. So this is something that is always a bit problematic with the Twitter API, as you cannot be sure that you get everything. It's not all tweets are received. Yeah. So this would get you for the past 7 days stuff. Yeah, Dragonfly is their paid service. Yeah, I think those are the other things here. Premium APIs. They have 30 days. You can search 30 days. And the enterprise. Search tweets. Let's go back. Premium, free and paid access to either the last 30 days of tweets or access to tweets from early as 2006. Okay. The other one is basically the same. Direct account management support. Okay, with support. This is dedicated technical support. Enterprise is basically the premium. Yeah. Or maybe there's some. Now we're getting into the details. I'm not interested in this. So the search would be then interesting for historical tweets. So we could every 7 days we could right now basically search for tweets of the past 7 days with a hashtag. I'm guessing that here is something get code. No, this is geo. Result type. Okay, this would be an ad. This would not make sense here. You could, for users, you could do this here. Get batch historical tweets. Okay, no, this is a encoded search query of 500 characters maximum, including operators. So this would be then you could create the hashtag here. Query may additionally be limited by complexity. So here you could create an example hashtag data engineering. I'm thinking not a lot of people are using it, so maybe you would search at hashtag big data. And then what you would do is you would get some information, or you would get the tweets. How's that? So you get this in a JSON format. Then you have the tweets here, and here this is one tweet created at, when is it created, ID, then the text, and URLs that are included, and then some metadata, something about the user, and then so this was from NASA, as you can see here, name NASA with this ID, screen name NASA, and then is there also already a geolocation also? I don't think so, but okay, doesn't look like it. And then you have the next tweet here, created at, same thing, text. This would be also from NASA. Yeah, and so this is basically how you would read this API stuff. And verified. This is some information about the user here. Yeah. Translator. Profile images. Yeah, so you have a lot of information that you can read out of this. So this would be an API. So let's note this here somewhere. I'm noting this on my keep that you cannot see here. It's the search tweets function. From the Twitter API. Come on. Okay, and then this would be for searching for hashtags 7 days. 7 days search. And then this is more or less for a batch job. Now, what can we do for real-time stuff here? Sample real-time tweets, fill the real-time tweets. What's the difference here? One filter rule, one allowed connection, disconnection required to adjust rule. So this is something 400 keywords, 5,000 user IDs, 25 location boxes. So this returns a status, returns public statuses that match one or more filter predicates. Multiple parameters may be specified, which allows most clients to use a single connection. Okay. Request, track, follow, resource URL. Rate limited, of course. Okay. Trackers are full and full. Post statuses filter. Okay. Not 100% sure if this is the one. Let's sample real-time tweets here. Returns a small random sample of all public statuses. Tweet returned. by default access level are the same. So if two different clients connect to the endpoint, they will see the same tweets. Okay. Is there an example? No. Okay, this is an enterprise thing. This here also. Strange that. Okay. Okay, this would for the statuses. Okay, this. I'm guessing this is for my user, so. Maybe filter real-time tweets is the thing here to do. API reference. What do you guys think? Have you do you think this is the one we need? Where was that? Yeah, filter real time. Public status is much more filter predicates. Multiple parameters may be specified, which allow most clients to use single connection to the streaming API. Both GET and POST requests are supported, but GET requests with too many parameters may cause the request to be rejected. Okay, this thing here returns tweets matching foo or created by user 1234. So track equals then what we would do here, hashtag big data and track hashtag data science or AI, and then I'm guessing that we would get all the stuff here. Yeah, we would not track so many things. Okay. I'm liking this. Post status filter. And the other one was called search tweets. Standard search. No. Yes. Standard search API. Okay, I think these two would be interesting. So that we maybe just, can I show this to you without showing all my notes? Maybe like this. Yeah. So let's do this away here. So this would be the real time, the streaming thing. Streaming is this one, and this one would be for batch processing. Past 7 days. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay, guys. Do you have some questions regarding all this API thing? How to create these APIs? What they do here? We can go a bit deeper here into this stuff. How batch works here, Dragonfly, is that let's not get confused here. standard search API. So this would be then here. And as I understand it, that when you, this search API against sampling of recent tweets published in the past 7 days. So when we use this thing here, when we use this thing here and we, it's double clicking here, because we don't specify a time here. Or do we? Can we? No. And so basically when we say we want to search for tweets regarding data science, then this will return us a number of tweets from the past 7 days, and we can go further here. So like this is, let me just usually this thing, how was that? Is this a paged API? Nope. Doesn't look like it. Generate timestamp. Not 100% sure how we can make sure that the next time we get more. We would need, okay, please note count was previously results per page. Count. Number of tweets to return per page up to a maximum of 100. Default is 15, was formerly the RPP parameter. Yeah, this is a paged API. So you can say you need 100 here. Okay, you can also define a timestamp of a day. And you have the since thing here. So you could say, okay, I'm going 7 days back, and then I'm getting 100 tweets, and these 100 tweets, these all have an ID, and then the last ID I give with the next call, and then this then continues with the next 100, and the last one of those 100 I'm using for the next call, and then this basically gives me all the tweets from the past 7 days. Because when I'm finished with the day, I'm iterating the day. So I'm moving here from 0719 to 0720 and so on. And so this would be a way we could do this with a piece of code, like a Java code, or so how would that, Nick asks how to get streams batches of tweets into Hadoop. Could you describe it or even run a simple example somehow? From a technique standpoint, it's not that super hard, because all you need to do is, this here is an array. So this is one tweet here, this thing, and then this here is another. And what you can do is, the simplest thing is you just take the whole thing here and put it into one string. And this string, maybe we can't draw this. Maybe just So how I would go around this? It's not. Oh, the battery is low. It's always the same. That's the battery from the tablet. So what you would do is you have the. Is it still working? Yes. You have the. How was that called? Search API. Standard search API. Here you have a pen. You have the search API. Oh, I need to get into the groove with this thing. You have the search API, and this thing you call, and you receive 100 tweets. And these tweets are basically in a way of. Oh, it's not that easy. Okay, this looks absolutely terrible, but I'm guessing you know what I mean. Let's just recheck here. Statuses, exactly. This is one, and this is then another one. So the thing is, what you do is you take these, and you split them into strings. This is a string. This is a string. And it's by the way, it's not that easy with the pen and the board, because there is a. Maybe I can show this to you. It's because there's a bit of a delay between my monitor, because the monitor is a TV, and when I write, so it's a bit tricky. Okay, so you have the strings, and with those strings, what you do is what I would do is then I would just put them. Oh man, just put them into Kafka. It's a very simple solution. Hey. Boom. Basically do a. This is the delimiter here. And then you already have the tweets, and you have them in the system. So now the thing is, how do you get those 100 tweets here from the search API? There are a few options what I'm thinking you can do. The obvious thing is you write some kind of Python code. Python/Java code that just queries the data. That would be one thing that I can think of. Another thing that you could do is, and I need to look into that, is use a tool for that. And how is that called? I'm missing the name. I've been talking a lot about this lately. NiFi. So we could look into NiFi if we can use NiFi to actually get those 100 tweets and those multiple tweets. And then, yeah, this could be it. then they're in the system. And then what we would do is, what I would do is then in Spark, I would write a deserializer. For let's say Twitter JSON. No, that's not it. That's it. Serializer for Twitter JSON. And then we would fill the data somewhere. Boom, boom, boom. And then into some DB. Nick says, hold on, man. What's up? Where's the problem, Nick? Where's the problem? So this would basically how I would go at it right now. What I can see, if I would, because the thing here, I would not start early to go over it again. Okay, we can go over it again. So the thing that we want to do is we want to okay, I'm just quickly going over it again. So the thing is, what we want to do is we want to search for tweets with a certain hashtag or certain multiple hashtags like big data or data science. And we can use the standard search API from Twitter that it gets you tweets for the past 7 days for some keywords. And with a specification of count, we can get 100 tweets at a time. And so what we would do is we would make a API call, and what we would receive are these statuses, and these are then the tweets created at with a tweet ID and with hashtags and symbols and so on, and information for mentions or URLs that are in the thing, and then some information about who has created it. So the user, like this one is from NASA, and the URL from NASA, and so on, and a lot more information. Then we will get another tweet, second tweet, in the same API call. So we would get 100 of these. And what I would do is I would write either a piece of code, a Python or a Java code that gets me the data from the past 7 days. So basically you could start with get me the data from 2019. What have we today? 2019 May, and then what, 16th? 16th. So we would go 7 days back, and then let's say, and then we have from May 9th, and then we get 100 tweets from May 9th, and these have an ID. And what we can do is with when the next call comes up, I would say, okay, give me more tweets, but start from the last of those 100 tweets that we received in the first call. And then we do this call, we receive another 100, and then we would say, okay, give me more, just start with this one. And so with the last one of the previous 100, and the same, and at some point we are going to run into the rate limiting. And in each call, So each call you could do with a few things. You could start by doing it with Python, with a simple Java application or Python application. Maybe we could do this with something like NiFi, but we have to look into it. And then what we could do is we could get the tweets. That's more or less is that a string. So as we can see here, this is in an array, and these are the brackets here for one starts, one ends, comma separation, then the next one starts, and then that one ends, and then the next one starts. So what we could do is we could say, okay, the delimiter here is something like comma, or bracket closed, comma, bracket open. I don't know. And then we could try to split it in a way that we end up with the strings, with each tweet. And then what we can do is we can feed those tweets into Kafka, just a series of tweets, and then run a Spark deserializer that basically creates the information from the JSON into something that we can work with within Spark. We could also write a deserializer here in the actual code that queries the data, but then we are going to complicate the other stuff here. So we would need to figure out when to start deserializing this string. That's a bit of a, I'm not 100% sure where to do it, because we need a lot of to actually get to this ID here. We would have to figure out we would need to figure out how to actually get this information from the string. I'm not 100% sure. Also, we would need to make sure that we split in the right point. If we just split the strings, so this may be not that easy, but yeah, that would be one thing. And then we write the results here in a database. That I can't think of. This would be an interesting, or a thing that makes sense. Do you know what I mean, guys? Does that make sense to you? Yeah. Net until, so we could start return tweets created before the given date. Okay, before, then we would say before today. Yeah. Yeah, we would start with 7 days in the past and then move forward. They have also some use cases here. Analyze. Trend event detection, understanding your audience, decision based on customer sentiment, brand mentions. The thing is, there's a question about scaling the queries of the API. When when you go the route with the first route here with a simple Java program that that queries data from the API, this is not really this would not really be scalable. It's very hard to actually make this make this for parallel processing on one machine. So you could do multiple threads, let alone for a cluster. One thing I'm thinking the better solution here would be to go for something with NiFi, because NiFi is a bit more scalable, and it's running on or it can run on multiple systems, so you could use make more use of parallel processing to actually query the data. So, but this is more or less a example. And as Nick says, it would be good to see the code for that pipeline, frankly. Of course, I mean, we would need to, or we need to start doing this. This is how you start. I mean, first thing you look, for instance, in this case, you look at the API, this is the task for today. You look, what can you do, and what is possible with the API, and then you try to figure out a way of actually processing the data, and what tools can you use, what makes sense, how would you structure the data. Okay. Dragonfly says some interesting thing. I noticed that once the video stream ends, I don't see any comments during replays. Is that intentional? No, that is not intentional. Let me just quickly check here. It should be marked that the replay, or configured that the replay stays. Let me just quickly check before I later finish the stream and then the comments are gone again. Configuration, comments. Show all the comments, DVR. Strange. I'm not seeing an option here to actually live chat. Okay, I don't see an option here. Stream sets data collector. What is that? What is that? Stream sets data collector. You can also get data from Twitter. Let me just quickly Google that. Okay, let me just. This looks like a tool here. Data for pipelines very batch stream processing. So thousands of companies use the open source award-winning StreamSets data collector to efficiently build, test, run, and maintain data flow pipelines containing a variety of batch and stream data sources and compute platforms, data collector pipelines minimum schema specification and uniquely detect any handle data drift. Build batch and stream pipelines in minutes. So the thing is, it's open source trying to drop. Yeah. The thing is always, where do you do the calculations? And hi, David. Sorry for butchering your name again. That's interesting. The thing is, what do you? It's always a choice of what do you want to do. How early do you want to, let's say, modify the data or deserialize the data? What you can do is, let me just, there are a few positions that you can deserialize data. First is the API call. This then gets the data, let's say, in a raw format. Okay, raw string. Now, do you want to use this and, let's say, split this into messages or tweets? Tweet 1, 2, and 3. So you would do here splitting. The second, then you're continuing on, and with then you're doing Spark, or you're doing the processing. Then you're basically deserializing. Oh man, I'm sorry for the bad handwriting with this tool. I should, but I have no better option here right now. Maybe at some point I'm going to switch this monitor out here because this is annoying. So basically, would you create an effort here in the querying of or when you do the API calls, and basically split up the string that you receive, or the message that you receive, into tweets, and then go into Spark and do some more work? Or what you could also do is, second part, you do API calls, and those generate the raw string, and you forward the raw string to the processing, and then you're starting deserializing. Oh man, this. So you would basically transfer the raw data from the API call, the whole API, the whole response you get from the API, you would forward that into Kafka and then into the processing, and then start deserializing in the processing. Then you would save yourself the first effort of modifying the raw string basically in the beginning. But that has then you would have a, so the positive thing is that you are saving yourself time, energy, and performance, because you don't need to create this thing, you don't need to do this step. The downside here is that you're forwarding the raw string. So one message in Kafka is one size of a string, and so you're blowing up each message. And so you, instead of creating 100 smaller messages like tweets, you would create one big message that has 100 tweets in it. That's something you need to think of. So you would, if that stream sets, I don't know if you don't really need that, because you just create a very, very stupid querying tool, and that is that's basically super dumb. That is just making API calls, and then all the processing is then done within the actual processing framework. It's always a trade-off, and it's also like we've talked about before. Who asked that question? Blessed person. Yeah. So regarding to the scaling, then it's always it would scale faster and would be easier to scale, because you don't have intelligence in the actual piece of software, or in the actual process that is making API calls, or a very, very, very low amount of intelligence there. So it's a easy to parallelize process. Those are the trade-offs. So it might be also good to do the deserializing later than just in Spark. In this case. Does that make sense to you guys? Have you did you understand this concept of where it makes sense to basically not modify isn't the right word. Where you're manipulating on the data, where you're manipulating the data. Yeah. I'm thinking maybe this is too complicated or too error prone, because this splitting is not that simple. Yeah. As Nick says, difficult calculations is for Spark, of course. Yeah. The thing is how yeah. In the first things or first steps that I think we are doing here. Oh damn! I forgot to record this thing. I usually record each session, just to be safe that I have it. Now I hope YouTube records in a good quality. So it makes sense to look here what we're doing and where to invest some time. Okay, guys, I don't know. I mean, I don't know any more. I mean, we for the real time. This would be for the 7 days batch processing. For the real time stuff, where did we go here? Twitter, and then filter real time tweets. How does that work? Track keywords to track, follow. I'm not 100% sure how this works. How many results you get. How many results do you get here? So this would be even simpler here, because you just say, okay, I want to filter here, and I want to track data science. I want to track big data, and then you receive the tweets for that, and basically the software that is querying the data from the API can be super dumb, because there is no making sure that you receive data, or moving some time frames from one day to another, and using IDs to basically get the tweets get a continuous stream of tweets for the past 7 days. This is a live thing that you just say, okay, now give me the tweets, bam, and that then gets you those tweets, I'm guessing. Yeah. Hmm, yeah. And then we can do the same thing on the other side. So yeah, we would need we should look into how to do these. Okay, let's do it this way. By the way, guys, if you haven't liked this stream, please hit the like button, so we let the algorithms know that this is a good stream, and that they should send this video, or recommend this video. I think we are finished here for today regarding the Twitter API. We know now what we can do, and we have some idea of how we can go forward and build a pipeline with this. The next step would be to actually to try this thing out and test the API. I'm having in mind that the first thing that I would do, or I'm going to do, is I'm installing NiFi here, and then we are going to just try to get tweets from NiFi and maybe store them in a file, and yeah. Yeah. Depto, I think I'm not sure. I'm super bad here with the. Why doesn't it show the right time here? Let me just check something. Yeah, I'm thinking this. Yeah, this got messed up here because of the switch to the summertime. No, I need to check this. With the English stuff. I was also with the PST. I was super. Yeah. I need to get this in line. I'm going to get this in line for the next stream. I'm going to look into it. I'm also going to delete the PST time in the description, because that, if you know one, then you can make sure. Yeah. Also, I might be switching from Monday, Wednesday, Friday to Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, because Fridays are slow days, and I don't want to sit here with nobody watching, and because this is boring. Yeah, Dipdot, you can rewatch every stream. Every stream stays open. I'm wondering with the chat why the chat might not be there, because strangely it should be there. I don't know. Yeah, guys. So next time we're going to look into with getting data from the API with NiFi, and then let's do this. I'm not sure if I prepare something or if we do it on stream. I don't know, because I don't want to have it boring, some boring time while I install stuff. I don't know if that doesn't make sense. Okay, guys. If you haven't seen it, check out the cookbook on my GitHub, and it's also available on my Patreon. So get over to Patreon and download the cookbook for free. It is free. It will stay free forever. I have set up the Patreon, so if you want to support what you like, and if you like this stuff here and want to send in some bucks, I'm using it to advance the stream here. I'm already thinking about changing the microphone, because it's annoying as hell that when I modify this here, that it's this boop 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 sound, and I'm having a better microphone in mind, but that costs a few $100, so don't tell my wife. Yeah. This is not something to do right now. I'm already an hour here. Let's I'm going to answer this question later. Yeah, I'm already basically finished. I already did almost the outro. So next stream will be on Monday, I think. If I'm doing a stream earlier, then I'm going to let you know on LinkedIn or here on YouTube. You're going to see it. Yeah. One question, by the way, guys, before you leave, do you get a notification of when I go live or before I go live? It would be interesting. I don't know really how to do it, or if you're already getting some notification. I don't know. Does that come on like half an hour before? Okay. That's good. I was looking for that. I thought I need to do this manually, but okay, that's good. Maybe this is also, I don't know if you have activated the bell, so you get notifications, another layer of notifications. I don't know if this is just for all subscribers. Don't know. Maybe it's when you. The notification, I know it from on my Android. I get. Yeah, I meant the bell icon. I don't know if you need to. Okay, you need to activate the bell. Yeah. So activate the bell to get to not miss when I go live here. Yeah. Okay, guys. Thanks for joining. Great conversations we had. Some good points. I'm going to look into more. Look into stream sets that Nick mentioned here. This looks interesting. I don't know if it's really that simple with the just drag and drop stuff. It always looks so simple in this chart, in the pictures, and then when you actually do it, that's a whole nother level. But I guess you know what I'm talking about. So guys, have a great weekend. If we don't hear each other tomorrow, have a great weekend, and then we see each other on Monday with a NiFi. On Wednesday, it looks like I'm going to do a stream with another case study, and this time I'm going to have a live guest. But I'm going to give you the exact time frame for that. It's a different time frame for the live stream. Okay, guys, again, thanks for joining. Have a great time, have a great weekend, and then until Monday, bye bye.